Allen. Josh broke out in year 3. I don't think anyone had him pegged to finish second in MVP voting. Maybe Brandon did. I don't know. We should go back and ask him later. Big no, Josh Allen,
definitely
guys.
not Nick Wright.
Fast forward to camp yesterday. Veteran receiver Emmanuel Sanders is one of the new guys up in Buffalo. Talked about one specific moment he had while watching Allen throw. Listen to what he had to say.
Josh made a throw today that I haven't seen, like a post ball to Cole Beasley. It was crazy, like mouth dropping. I've been in the league 12 years, so I'm excited, about what they've created out here. I think that we got an opportunity, obviously.
All right, here's the throw. We think, well, Bill's tweeted this throw along with those comments from Sanders, and it's pretty good, I guess. I'm not 100% sure this is the catch Sanders is referring to. Also not 100% sure it isn't. So there's that. Well, that's what we found. Brandon, what do you think of what Emmanuel Sanders had to say?
Well, here's the deal. Well, first, where's Nick Wright at when we're having this discussion about Josh Allen? He doesn't want to be around when we're talking about Josh Allen. But anytime we talk about Baker Mayfield, Nick Wright wants to lead the conversation. He wants to be the guy. So, Nick Wright, hurry up and get back so we can talk about Josh Allen. I absolutely love this. Josh Allen has one of the most talented arms that in the NFL today, okay? Josh Allen can make all the throws on the field. Up there with Mahomes, up there with Aaron Rodgers, and especially when you're talking about the deep ball and efficiency, what Emmanuel Sanders was talking about. He said a post to Beasley. When you talk about deep ball, you got to throw Russell Wilson in there as well, okay? But here's the challenge with this is consistency, right? Aaron Rodgers consistently make those throws and put it on a dime. You got Patrick Mahomes that consistently do that. Now, we saw the jump from year 1 to year 3 from a completion percentage with Josh Allen. The dude has it all. The dude is lights out. So I understand what Emmanuel Sanders is talking about, but you just don't want a guy to flash here and there. You want a guy to be able to do that week after week after week. And Patrick Mahomes, that is the case study. Aaron Rodgers, that is the case study. Russell Wilson, that is the case study, Coach. So when you talk about a ceiling, the ceiling to me, Coach, is up there with the greats. Like, I got this stat from our guys, Dusty, right? One of our super producers. Dusty sent me this. 4,500 yards through the air, 45 touchdowns, and less than 10 interceptions. There's only 4 guys that in the history of the league that was ever able to do this. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning twice, and your boy Josh Allen. Nick Wright? Baker Mayfield ain't up there. Baker, I love you, Baker. I know you're going to have a beast of a year. But look, this dude, this is the ceiling. This is what it is. Now, the challenge with him, Coach, is he has to go through KC. Patrick Mahomes, he's not playing with the AFC. And that offense, that team, and that coaching staff, they're legit. So that's going to be the challenge over the next couple years is can they get over the hump, and that hump being Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, the first thing I want to say is that I love the range of this show and the fact that Jenna can somehow bring in Neil Diamond and Barbara Streisand after we're talking about 2 rap greats.
Coach, you're the only one who gets me. Nobody even responded. Nobody even double blinked to that. I wasn't sure if I said it or thought it. Thank you, Coach.
What demographic you're in,
I love you.
There's something for everybody here. And look, Brandon, you're exactly right. It's about consistency. And when I watched him coming out of college, that was a concern. It was consistency with his throws because he often made wide receivers work, and it was consistency with his reads because he was late on some throws. And I didn't know how much that would progress. And I give Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator, tremendous credit for his development. And Brian develops quarterbacks holistically. He's got a great understanding of not just the offense, but Brian worked on the defense for a long time as well. So he teaches quarterbacks the ins and outs of defense from a defensive perspective, which is different. And I think that really helps offensive players grow. And you look at his numbers, and we talked about completion percentage, but he's also doubled his touchdown percentage. He's cut his interception percentage in half. He's improved his quarterback rating by 40%. So all that being said, it still comes back to Brandon's point about consistency, because Nick Foles in his second year threw 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He had 119 quarterback rating. His yards per completion were like 17. It was an unbelievable season, but you didn't get that consistency. So now we got to see whether or not this growth stays on the same trajectory. And even if it doesn't, can he stay at the level he's currently at? And the point about the deep ball yesterday, Stephon Diggs just came out and said he thinks the deep ball wasn't very good in Buffalo. And that's something they need to work on. So as you become more successful and as guys start pressuring for different types of throws, the question is, can you handle that pressure as well to make everybody happy while still being the guy that you were the previous season?
Well, I don't want this to be lost. I don't think it's been mentioned yet. What Emmanuel Sanders said, that he hasn't seen this in 12 years in the league, he's played with Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning. I mean,
right.
That is high praise. And his ceiling,
right.
Super Bowl winning quarterback who's a Hall of Famer. I mean, that's what we're talking about. If Pat Mahomes wasn't in this league, who knows what we'd be saying about Josh Allen and his potential. And Brandon, you're right. Obviously, they have to keep going through Kansas City, obviously Lamar Jackson. A lot of great teams out there in the AFC. But Mahomes and the Chiefs aren't going to win it every year. All right, they're not going to get there every year. So Buffalo can win some Super Bowls. I like the fact that the organization has been strong recently. They've been putting, he's got a nice receiving core with Cole Beasley, and they added Sanders. Obviously, Stephon Diggs helped take him to another level, but I'm not going to give Diggs all the credit. The fact that Allen made such a jump last year, that speaks to his work ethic. I got to believe. For him to jump the way he did, he has to have a really good work ethic and be a listener and a learner. And that's where I think the talk about his consistency comes in, right? That's the next step for him. But I think with his work ethic and all the talent he has, I think he can get there and be more consistent.
Yeah, so the trajectory is what caught my eye, Brandon. So he went from 20 to 37 touchdowns. He went from 58% completion percentage to 69% completion percentage. So you see him getting up and expect him to be better. On the other hand, their season starts pretty rough. You have Pittsburgh, Miami, and Washington. Pittsburgh, third best defense. Miami, if they figure out what's going on with Xavier Howard, but I expect Brian Flores to make that defense a little bit better. We know how good Washington's defense is, second best. But to Chris's point, the Emmanuel Sanders thing, I think that we have to stop down and sort of give that a lot of credit. That just wasn't an offhanded comment. I think what he is telling the world, the sports media, the other guys, saying like, yo, this dude is better than I thought. This dude is way better than I expected, and you should expect great things.
Right.
What was your take on specifically what Emmanuel Sanders said? Because it feels like he could be like, yeah, I'm happy to be here. But the fact that he went out of his ways to say, like, yeah, I hadn't seen a pass like that in 12 years, it was jaw-dropping, really made me think that Josh Allen's better than I thought.
Yeah, well, first off, there's an excitement when you're the new guy in the building, especially at the wide receiver position. There's like this little pressure on the receiver and the quarterback, the offensive coordinator, to kind of figure out how to get you involved, right? Coach said this last year, and I've been riding with it ever since, and I love it. Chemistry and continuity is everything, right? So sometimes you just get a little excited and you can say a little too much, because the reality is, yes, he played with those quarterbacks, right? And Big Ben, Drew Brees, also Peyton Manning. But when you look at it, what makes Big Ben great is not him just standing in the pocket and throwing on time. It's him getting outside the pocket, those off-schedule plays. I got to break off my route now. So it's not just a crisp post where you put your foot in the ground at 7, go to the near post and catch that right on the hash. That's not what you're going to get from Big Ben. You got an old Peyton Manning who could only throw it 40 yards, and you got an old Drew Brees who can only throw it, 40, 50 yards consistently a couple times a game. So that's what he got. Like, he is just rejuvenated with that. But here's what I would say also when it comes to Josh Allen. Like, Josh Allen, and you got to highlight this because Chris talked about, work ethic, and he talked about this jump, and you talked about the jump, but Coach really hit it on the head. And this is the guy I'm gonna put Coach on the spot here. Coach it was the one that kind of discovered Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll was my offensive coordinator with the Miami Dolphins. As a young pup, I think it was his first gig at the OC job. And this dude was sensational, how he met everybody. You're talking about me in my prime when I was a hot-headed young pup out there, and how he was able to coach me every single day and say, Brandon, no, this is how we're going to do things. Brandon, I hear you. Okay, Brandon, what do you want? Give me 10 plays, Brandon. All right, you say you need the ball more. Draw up 10 plays. Have it to me before Tuesday, before noon, and I'm going to look at it. And so he is a guy that knows how to coach people. He has that New England mentality where he can be hard, but at the same time, he's relatable. And that's why you're seeing this kid jump the way he has, is because of Brian Daboll, Coach.
Look, I love Brian Daboll, and I've been around some hard workers.